Welcome back to All Things Considered, the podcast that gives you all sports all year from all angles. I'm your host, Al Scott. With me today, former Fresno State wideout and return specialist, Erik Brooks. Thank you for joining the podcast today, Erik.
Thanks for having me.
So, Erik, you are a Bulldog wide receiver from 2018 to 2023. You spanned a couple of head coaching changes there, and you had quite a few moments at Fresno State. I think fondly of that 2023 season opener at Purdue, and you had quite a game. Can you just talk about maybe some of your favorite moments at Fresno State as Bulldog?
Yeah, my favorite moments, I have a couple probably personal ones and then team ones, obviously. So I'd say my personal favorites would be one, definitely earning a scholarship. That fall camp of 2021. That's probably my top moment for me just because of all the work I had put in trying to earn one and get a full ride and have school pay for and stuff like that. So that's definitely one of my favorite ones. Another one is that same year scoring my first touchdown against UCLA in the Rose Bowl. That's another one for me. And then I'd say team wise probably is our 2022 championship that we won.
Looking back at your career, it seemed like all of your best games came against the best teams. Like you lived up to the moment.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that, or it was just?
I don't know. I always thought about it like playing a bigger school per se. That when you have a platform like that, you want to put your best stuff on tape. Not saying you don't want to do it every single game, but sometimes that's kind of just how it played out. Honestly, every time we played like a Power 5 school, I would just somehow have a good game and it would just work out like that. I wasn't necessarily trying to make the moments bigger than they were, but yeah, I was fortunate enough to, be able to score against a lot of, nationally ranked opponents in some big schools.
That your last season, you were all Mountain West honorable mention. It was also Teddy's last year. That was kind of a up and down year for you guys. I mean, obviously you started out with the Purdue win. You guys, I think, started out 8-1. You were ranked at one point, and then you guys sort of tumbled down towards the end of the season. Can you talk about maybe how it was like getting back up top? I mean, obviously then you guys had the bowl game, being able to recover from that, sort of a spiral season.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, because one second, we're on top of the world, feeling great, winning games, we're clicking on all cylinders, offense, defense, special teams. And then we just hit a skid, and it's tough in, college football to hit a skid because there's not that many games like professional where you can, bounce back, especially that late in the season. So, it was tough because we had all our goals right in front of us. But to be able to, finish it off with a win in the New Mexico Bowl, that was big for us because that was Coach Skipper's, first opportunity to lead us. So we really wanted to do that for him and get him that win. So that was cool for us to do that.
Is momentum in college football or football in general, is that as real as people make it out to be?
Definitely. And it's not something that I feel like it's not something it's just something you can feel, when you make a big play or things start going your way, everyone on the field starts playing with confidence. And I think that's the biggest thing with momentum. It's just it's a confidence builder. So when you start making the plays and you get that snowball rolling and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, everyone on the field feels like they can make any play. So I definitely say it's a real thing.
Well, after you were a Bulldog, you transitioned to the CFL, the Canadian Football League, which has a few different rules than, traditional American football. Can you talk about maybe what that's been like and how easy of a switch that was for you?
So yeah, going up there in 2024, it was different, but I wouldn't say it was hard to adjust. The biggest thing for me was learning, you have unlimited motion. It's called the waggle pre-snap, so you can move around a lot. So really learning the playbook with all those motions and stuff in them probably makes it a little bit more challenging, but once you understand it, it's easier. I'd say, obviously it's a bigger field. They have an extra defender, so it's 12 on 12. But after all the minor tweaks and changes, at the end of the day, it's just football. So once I kind of got, into a rhythm up there, I've enjoyed my time and I'm starting to, get a grasp of how the game's played up there.
You were a really good returner in college, but you've sort of taken that to a new level uh, as a pro. Can you? Uh, was there something that went into that, or did you found a role being that specialist?
Um, I mean, I've had a lot of good coaches in my career. And I'd say the most impactful one on special teams would probably be Coach John Baxter, from, Fresno State. And I feel like he helped me so much just learn how to play football. Um, and be that returner and be that spark. So taking everything he taught me up to Canada, to be a returner, to kind of jumpstart my career up there, definitely attribute a lot of my success to him.
You also you played for a few different coaches, but was there something in particular that Coach Tedford instilled in you that maybe impacted your career?
I'd say the work ethic and how I'd say the biggest thing with him is he didn't leave any stone unturned, in any aspect of life and football, So he covered every base that you could possibly think of in a game plan week, a game prep week. And so kind of taking that mentality of his, just trying to not leave any stone unturned. I feel like I've taken that, and I use that in all aspects of my life now. I try to be, on top of every single facet of myself.
Uh, in your pro career, you've made quite a few highlights over the years, including recently. You've been doing backflips. You're all over the field. What 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 provides you that joy in the field that you're just having the time of your life?
Man, it's a blessing to be able to, still be playing a kid's game and getting paid for it and living out my dream, like I have a lot of friends that they weren't able to play after high school. They weren't able to play after college. So for me to be able to still be playing this long and having fun, I treat it. It's just a blessing, So every time I'm out there, treat it as that because any play could be your last play. So just having that mindset of gratitude and at the end of the day, it's a game. So I try to have as much fun as I can out there. You saw the backflip that I just did. So that was cool. But yeah, I'm just trying to have fun out there and just enjoy my time while I can still play this game.
Do you practice that, or does that just happen naturally?
It's funny. I actually haven't done a backflip in a long time. I learned how to do it in high school. One of my friends, we were out there working out, and he taught like a bunch of us how to do it. And so I've kind of always known for I'll say about like 10 years, but I've never tried it in game before. So that was the first time I've ever tried it in game. The last time I backflipped, other than that time, was probably sometime in college when we were just working out over the summer or something like that. But never actually attempted that in game. So that was my first time doing that. But it was fun. I told everyone I'm gonna stick it next time. I didn't realize how high I was when I was when I was doing it. But yeah, next time I do it, I'm gonna stick it.
What are your next goals in your career? Like, do you have any aspirations as your pro career unfolds?
Um, I'm really just trying to take it day by day. Be where my feet are, just enjoying the moment, because it goes by so fast. I'm already into year 3 of my professional career, and we're halfway through the season. So it goes by in the blink of an eye. I'm just trying to cherish every moment that I can get playing professionally. So right now I'm just focused on, living out my dream.
If you weren't playing football, what would you be doing?
If I wasn't playing football, I'd really want to start. I always say I want to coach. I just don't know what level I'd want to coach at. I want to be around the game in some way or form. So if I wasn't playing, I'd want to be coaching. I like seeing people improve, and being able to be that mentor and guide them in their life, however old, however young. That's something that I really enjoy to do.
Your former Fresno State football team is gearing up for their first game in a few weeks at USC, a team that you played very well against in college. Are you excited about the season?
I am. I try to follow along as much as I can. It's a little tougher now, just because I don't know as many of the people on the team anymore. I still know a couple of the guys like Josiah, Jordan, on offense. And I know some of the coaches, but it's a little tougher now. But I am excited to see how those guys play, and I'm excited that they're in the Pac-12 now. So that'll be cool. That's exciting. But yeah, I'm gonna follow along as many games as I can see. Sometimes we have conflicting schedules. with our game time, but whenever I had the chance to watch them, I'm always locked in.
Have you been able to be back to Valley Children's Stadium since you graduated?
I have. I actually went back earlier this year. I think around February. I mean, I was just out there just working out, training, getting some treatment and stuff. And saw a couple of guys, saw a couple of the training staff. So it was cool to be there, go back in the stadium, work out a little bit. I saw some of the, pro day guys. I saw Zillion Hamilton out there. He was working out. And so yeah, it was just cool to see everybody again and be back in that environment that, kind of shaped me and molded me into who I am today.
AZ had a good game the other day for the Rams in his
He
preseason
did.
debut.
He did. He
Uh,
did. I was able to see his PBU.
no surprise there.
Yeah.
Was that ever a fun challenge for you in practice? You know, going up against guys like AZ.
It's funny, in college, I didn't go up against him much. Just because he was playing outside and I was playing slot. So I didn't take a lot of reps out there and one-on-ones and stuff like that. But the matchups that we did have, he was always younger. And so I feel like he didn't really get into how good he is right now until, maybe like the year after I left. I think that's when he really took off. And so it was cool to see, the development each year of him gaining an increased role. My last year with some injuries, and then he kind of took that into 2024 and 2025 and just kept elevating. And so I'm happy to see everything he's doing.
Fresno State's had a lot of like really good secondary players. I mean, obviously, I know Julian Neal and others are in the NFL. Were some of those guys? You know, did they make you better in practice? Like, how did that improve you as a wide receiver and what you're doing today?
Yeah, all those guys. I mean, there's so many people that came out of Fresno State, and being around them, competing with them. Like I said, I was with AZ when he was younger, Julian Neal when he was younger. And so seeing those guys kind of just take the next step in their careers and seeing where they started and where they are now, it definitely made me better. Hopefully, I made them better. But even guys like Evan Williams going up against him every day, definitely made me a better player. Like I can't understate that. And then even guys on the same side of the ball, like when Nico Remigio, when he transferred in, I learned so much from him, and we were competing every day, just trying to make each other better. So I feel like anytime you can get a group of guys that are happy for each other, and that are willing to compete, it just pushes your room and just your overall team just be on their A game every day.
That 2022 season, I think, was Remigio on that team, or was
Yeah,
that 2023?
yeah.
Yeah.
2022.
So yeah, that 2022 season, you guys had it was a fun year, but you guys that was the year Hayner got hurt midway or at the beginning of the season, and then he came back for that San Diego State game,
Yeah,
which is one of the wildest endings in Fresno State history. Uh,
definitely.
I know that you had some strong thoughts after that game about the fans, uh, but we'll overlook that for a second. Can you just talk about what's going through your head, you know, as that game is unfolding towards the end, you know, the onside kick recovery, you know, that so much happened in that last like 2 to 3 minutes of that game where, you know, everyone, including your own fans, like they gave up on you and you guys still stood your ground. Um,
Yeah, so I'd say, the biggest thing with us is Coach Baxter always says, um, don't look at the scoreboard. He said, because if you're this, I'm trying to think of the saying. He said, if you're down, if you're up in the score, you'll let up, and if you're down, you'll give up. So he says, never look at the scoreboard and just play. So we're playing until the end of the game, no matter what. It doesn't matter. So that's one thing, we take pride in is playing a full 60 minutes of Bulldog football. And like I said earlier, Coach Tedford, he doesn't leave any stone unturned. So we've practiced everything that happened in that game. We've practiced a million times and gone over a million times. So it's really in our head. We're thinking like, oh, we can do this. Going down there having to score and then going down there having to go for two. Like we work on that every single week, going for, our 2 point plays and stuff like that. So executing that and then having to come out and do an onside kick. We work on that every single week. So then once we got that, we're like, okay, we can really do this now. And so we work on our 2 minute offense and our clutch time offense, once or twice a week up there. And so, like I said, Coach Teffer put us in so many so many different situations that being out in the game, it was no pressure. We've been in that, just not in a real time scenario so many times. So we can just go out there and play fast and play free. And having that game, like sometimes I still, when I watch it, I still can't believe we won that game because literally everything had to go right. We had to score, we had to get a 2 point conversion, we had to get an onside, we had to score again. So just for everything to go right and the ramifications that it had, because if we don't win that game, then we probably don't go to the championship and win our bowl game and stuff like that. So that was definitely a huge game for us.
Yeah, and you guys went on and played, Washington State, now a Pac-12 team. You guys play. You not only played, but you beat the future number one pick and Cam Ward.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool end of the year.
No, yeah,
Where
definitely.
you were a part of that 2018 team as well. I mean, you didn't play, but you were on the roster.
Yeah.
Where does the 2018 team versus the 2022 Bulldogs rank in regards to all-time Bulldog great football teams?
Man, it's funny because I still talk to, some of the people from the 18 team. And I don't know where I would rank it because obviously I didn't play 2018, but I was there, with all the guys. And so we always talked about would the 2022 team beat the 2018 team or vice versa. And I really don't know. I always want to side with the 2022 team just because that's the team I was really, really playing for. I was out there
Yeah.
getting reps and stuff. But I don't know. It's tough. I think it would be a really good game. I think it would be a really good game. I'm siding with I like the 2022 championship a little bit more just because of that run we had to go on. I mean, we ended up winning 10 straight football games. So uh
You had a lot of
it
resiliency.
yeah, and so I have to rank that just because of, every when I look back on that season, everything the coaches were preaching, there was no panic ever in the meeting room or the locker room. It was just, let's just keep working, keep practicing, and stuff will start going our way. And it did. So I ranked that championship just a little higher over the 18 team, but nothing against them for sure.
Uh, Off the field, was there any memories at Fresno State that really stand out to you to this day? Maybe, a special moment that happened or something that really made you grateful for your time in Fresno?
I guess it really just be all the relationships that I made out there. Everyone says that college football it goes by really quick. And you hear that when you're young and you're a freshman in the meeting room and you don't really grasp and understand how quick it actually goes by. And so when I talk to, my old teammates and stuff like that, we're always talking about the little stuff. Like it's never really about the football game, just like, the meeting rooms, the training room, little stuff that happens in your apartment when you're with all your friends and teammates and stuff. And so I say that's probably the best part about being at Fresno and one of my best memories there is just all the people that I met, my teammates, and all the little moments and stuff that we can laugh and joke about now.
Well, thank you, Eric, and good luck in the rest of your season. And thank you to everyone tuning in to the latest episode of All Things Considered. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.